Hi, it's Brooke Booth, life coach for Mormons in a mixed faith marriage. I'm going to do a video series about the grief cycle. I've talked about it before, but I want to talk about it again because it's a cycle and we find ourselves in different phases at different times, and so it can be helpful to revisit and to be aware of it. So I'm going to do, this is an introductory video, and then I'm going to do a video on each of the different phases of the grief cycle and how it can apply to a Mormon mixed faith marriage. So think about the 5 phases. Again, let me just say this before I talk about each one, is there are 5 phases and they are not linear. They are not in any particular order. You can repeat phases. There's not a particular way you go through these. It's very unique for everybody. You can skip them. You can repeat them 2 or 3 times. This is not a recipe. It's just like, here are some milestones you may meet, and then you may meet again. They are anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Again, they're not in any particular order. What it can do is it can be helpful just to be aware that they're happening to both you if you're having the faith transition and your spouse, that they're likely to happen to both of you. You're both likely to go through them at different times, in different ways. They may manifest differently. It can be helpful to know that they're happening and that it's okay for them to happen, and that it's normal, in fact, healthy for them to happen, so you can open up and be more gentle with yourself as they are happening to you. That's the number one thing I want you to take away from this video, is they're normal, they're natural, they're to be expected, they're okay. A lot of times we think denial's a problem, anger's a problem, depression's a problem, we shouldn't be bargaining, all of these things. And I want to just start out by saying, like, this is sometimes what happens when there's a faith transition and a mixed faith marriage, because there's often great loss associated with those things that can become grief. There can be loss about losing the same faith marriage, loss about losing the community, loss about, losing certain relationships, losing certain beliefs and doctrines, losing certain identities, losing certain ability to hold callings, or any number of things. There can be many different types and qualities of losses that can bring on grief. So it's important to just be gentle with yourself as you realize this. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to talk about each one of these in turn. So keep posted.